If you have been itching to build a new commander deck, I've got 3 spicy ideas to get your creativity going. Hey everyone, this is MTG Flatfish. I've been brewing again, trying to add a new deck to my paper collection, and this time, I wanted something different from my usual playstyle. But you know how it is, choosing a commander is tough. Building a new deck costs real money, so you want something that sticks, something that you will actually enjoy playing over and over. So today, I'm putting together 3 commander decks that I think are both super interesting and surprisingly powerful. I'm borrowing a concept from the Command Zone videos. Instead of diving into the full deck list, I'm highlighting 4 cornerstones for each deck. They show exactly how the 99 works, and on top of that, each deck gets a pet card. Something you don't see very often, something that makes you want to play the deck again. I think you will enjoy this. Alright, let's jump right in. We are starting with a unique partner pair from The Last of Us, Ellie Vengeful Hunter, partnered with Ellie Breakmaster. And yes, you can run 2 versions of the same character in the command zone. This is a Red Dose Aristocrat deck, and the idea is simple. You make tokens, sacrifice tokens, and use Ellie abilities to ping everyone to death. With both Ellies, you get a value engine and a finisher at the command zone. Ellie Breakmaster is your token maker. She's a 2-mana 2/1 that spits out tap and attacking 1/1s whenever anyone attacks your opponent. Attacking all 3 opponents, that's 3 1/1 tokens, and she encourages your opponents to swing at each other too, which keeps your life total healthy. And Ellie Vengeful Hunter is your sacrifice outlet. You pay 2 life, sacrifice a creature to deal 2 damage to any player. She also gains Indestructible. It looks medium on paper, but trust me, it gets out of hand fast once you know how to abuse it. Alright, let's hit the cornerstones. Whip of Erebos. This card is perfect here. Giving all your creatures lifelink means Ellie's ability becomes free. Pay 2 life, deal 2 damage, gain 2 back. As long as you have enough sacrifice fodder, you are basically a machine gun. And since Breakmaster is constantly creating tap attackers, the life gain can be very helpful. Chitterwing Witch is one of the best token makers in the deck. 4 bodies for 4 mana is exactly what we want. Since Red Dose doesn't have any token doublers, we rely on creatures that bring friends with them. Siege Gain Commander and Beetleback Chief fill the same role, giving us more bodies to sacrifice later. Collective Inferno, this is your damage doubler. With Convoke, you can cast it for 1 or even 0 mana, and suddenly your 2 damage pain becomes 4 damage pain. It basically cuts the number of tokens you need in half and ends game fast. We are also running Fated Firepower and City on Fire to push the damage even further. The secret MVP of this deck is Tenter Strike, and yes, this is an Infect deck. You give Ellie Infect, sacrifice 5 creatures, and that's 10 poison counters. Just picture this. You have Siege Gain Lieutenant, you move to combat, you get 2 more goblins. You attack, Breakmaster give you 3 more tokens. You cast Tenter Strike, and suddenly you have the power to take someone out of the game. It's shockingly easy to hit 10+ creatures and wipe everyone out at the same time. The weirdo in this deck is Divergent Transformation. It looks like a bad 7 mana removal spell, right? Not here. We are targeting our own creatures. Most of our creatures make tokens on ETB, and Divergent Transformations guarantee we hit a creature, meaning more ETBs, more tokens, and more sacrifice fodder. Sawing Half is in the deck for the same reason. This deck has a very clear game plan and is relatively simple. You want to cast Ellie Breakmaster on turn 2 and start swinging before opponents have blockers. Play token generators throughout the game, and once you have around 10 tokens and a way to give Ellie Infect, you are ready to poison the table. Damage doublers reduce the number of tokens you need, and lifelink keep you alive while using Ellie's ability. We also run Mayhem Devil and Sulaport Cutthroat in case our poison plan doesn't work. This deck is super fun and fits well in high bracket 2 to low bracket 3 tables. Just make sure you run enough card draw to find your key pieces, and maybe run your playgroup if someone gets salty about Infect. Alright, moving on to deck number 2, and this one is spicy. We are looking at an Esper creature deck led by the Destined Warrior from the Final Fantasy set. This commander cares about the party mechanic, and while Barako, party leader, and folk hero is the classic party duo, adding blue completely changes the deck. Honestly, this build has me really excited. For anyone who hasn't seen this card yet, the Destined Warrior is a 4-mana 3/3 with First Strike, Vigilance, and Menace, 3 very relevant keywords for combat. He also reduces the cost of your cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard spell by 1. And at the beginning of combat, he gives your whole team +1/+0 or +3/0 if you have a full party. The cornerstone of the deck is the Destined Thief. This card feels tailor-made for the deck. It gives you card advantage and evasion, which are two things party deck desperately need. With your commander reducing creature cost, you are going to be casting a ton of creatures, and that means you need ways to refill your hand. The Destined Thief draws you 3 cards if you have a full party, and because he's unblockable, he reliably connects and triggers the draw. It's insane value and exactly what this deck wants to be doing. Barako Party Leader of course is one of the best creatures in the deck. Not only does he make treasure tokens when he attacks, but he can also count as any party member. That flexibility is huge. If you don't have a full party, it becomes much harder to push through combat, and you really want that +3/+0 from your commander. Barako gives you mana advantage, fixes your color, and help you maintain a full party without over sequencing. I'm also running several changelings like Unsettled Mariner for the same reason. They make sure you have all the party members and keep the deck consistent. I love cards that synergize with a specific game plan instead of just being generic staples. Coveted Prize is a perfect payoff for a party deck. With a full party, it becomes a better demonic tutor, and it even lets you cast a spell with mana value 4 or less for free. And it doesn't have to be the card you tutor. Another card that I really like here is Stick Together. It can act as a one-sided board wipe and fits the party theme beautifully. Both cards play perfectly into what your commander is trying to do. Mother Runes is a fantastic card in this deck. To win the game, you absolutely need your commander to stay on the battlefield. Mother Runes give you the protection you need to keep your board safe. She's also a perfect 1-mana creature to play early, helping you assemble a full party before you cast your commander. And the protection ability does more than just save your creatures. Giving protection from a color often means your commander becomes unblockable. Sometimes that's all you need to finish off an opponent. The weirdo in this deck is Go-Go, Master of Mimicry, and I really like this card. This deck has so many activate and trigger abilities worth copying. Go-Go is incredibly versatile. He can copy Barako to make even more treasure, or copy Harper Recruiter to find more party members. And in the late game, you can dump all your mana into copying your commander's ability. For 6 mana, you can give your whole team +12/+0. That's basically Craterhoof level power and usually enough to close out the game on the spot. This deck is incredibly fun to play and build around. You can basically pick the best creature from each party type, and they will naturally work together. Every new set gives you new party member to try out, so the deck can evolve over time and easily swap pieces in and out. Compared to Barako, this deck is so much more about attacking and getting into combat. While Barako leans into treasure generation and often has a sacrificer theme, adding blue gives this version more depth, better card advantage, and wider pool of creatures to choose from. And yeah, I really like it. The next deck I want to talk about is Adir, Possessed Sorceress. And if you have never played against her, let me warn you right now, this commander is evil. She looks like a harmless little theft commander, right? You steal a creature, you give it back, you draw a card. Nothing too crazy. But I'm telling you, Adir is way more dangerous than she looks, and might actually be the best theft commander in the format. She's a 5-mana 2/5 with War 2, which already makes her annoying to remove, but her ability is where things get wild. At the beginning of combat, you steal a creature, untap it, and give it haste. And whenever a creature you control but don't own dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, and you draw a card. Your game plan is to steal something, attack with it, sacrifice it, draw cards, and repeat. And because Adia's trigger happens at the beginning of combat, extra combat steps let you steal multiple creatures in a single turn. This deck snowballs incredibly fast. Let's break down the cornerstones. The first cornerstone is Spark Double. Any clone that can copy Adia without dying to the legend rule is exactly what this deck wants. Multiple Adias means multiple combat triggers, so you're stealing more creatures, removing more blockers, and drawing even more cards. And because Adia has War 2, your clones get that protection too. 1 Adia is annoying, 2 is a nightmare. Boss-side Bombardier is one of the best sacrifice outlets in the deck. When you steal a creature, you don't want to just hang it back. You want it to die so you can draw a card. Bombardier lets you sacrifice whatever you stole, deal damage to any target, and immediately replace the card. Other options like Disable of Bolus or Red Dose the Muscle do similar things. They turn stolen creatures into card advantage. And while you can run traditional sacrifice outlets like Pharasian Altar, I actually prefer creature-based sacrifice outlets because they help you push through combat during your extra combat steps. Speaking of extra combats, this is how the deck actually wins games. I skip the mediocre steal a creature until end of turn spells. Spending 4 mana to borrow something just to draw a card is not worth it. Instead, we run extra combat spells. Again, extra combats mean Adia triggers again. You steal another creature, you remove another blocker, you hit even harder. Great Chain Heist is incredible here. It not only gives you an extra combat, but also makes treasure and pumps your whole team. We are also running creature-based extra combats like Combat Celebrant, Pot Wazer, Kalev Fury of Avernus. These cards turn Adia from a theft deck into a full-on combat monster. The next cornerstone is Abyssal Harvester. This is where the deck gets really nasty. Normally, Adia forces you to return the stolen creature, but Abyssal Harvester lets you exile that creature before the return trigger resolves. And once it's exiled, it's gone. You keep the card draw, and your opponent never gets their creature back. The deck also runs Chaos Shine's Black Crystal, Saw in Half, and Ghostly Faker. All of these exile the creature and return it under your control. This is how you turn temporary theft into long-term value. The weirdo in this deck is Sinif Sanctum, and yeah, it's a little janky, but in a way I really like. It's a 1-mana artifact with 2 abilities. You can pay 2 mana to tap it to exile a creature you control. Later, pay 2 mana to return everything exiled with it to the battlefield under your control. It basically lets you tuck away the creatures you steal before they go back. And when you are ready, you cash everything out, and they all come back under your control. It even doubles as a protection for Adia. Exiling and returning her is still cheaper than recasting her from the command zone. Not the most efficient option in the deck, but it's feasible, and I just like it. I really like this deck. Playing with your opponent's card is always fun, and the game plays out differently every time. The deck does need some setup if you want to fully capitalize on Adia's ability, but War 2 keeps Adia alive long enough to get rolling. Just being able to remove a blocker every turn and do it consistently is honestly very powerful. This deck performs extremely well against creature-based strategies, though it might struggle a bit against combo or spell slinger decks. But Grixis give you access to some of the best interaction in the game, so you can still hold your own. And yeah, this is probably going into my paper collection too. Okay, that's everything I've got for you today. I hope this video helped you to find your next commander. All the deck lists are in the video description, so feel free to check them out and upgrade them however you like. Let me know what you think and how you would build these decks. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you so much for watching. This is MTG Fatfish, and I will see you guys next time.